So let's get back to the third eye, which is called also the mirror of the soul. It's beautiful, right? To call it the mirror of the soul. And if we open it, like I was saying, we see ourselves in that very mirror. There's a cosmic mirror where you get to look at yourself inside your cosmic room. So at the beginning, when you start looking, it took me forever to get and see my spiritual legs. Like maybe you get visions from your head, and then later on, as you transform more and get even more pure, you get to see until your heart chakra yourself, and then you go more down to your waist, and eventually you get legs when you're really walking the path. But at the beginning you might get just your head to see clairvoyantly in your room. And it depends then how you have your hair, what kind of glasses you wear, or if you don't wear any glasses. Glasses most of the time, it took me years to learn how to read the symbols of the angels, and later on the archangels, and later of the ascended masters. But it's all learnable. It's like a language. It's our own lightful cosmic language, and we carry it inside of ourselves, which is marvelous, because as we get to search and look in books and stuff, we also remember. We get to remember more and more with time, and that's also something that it's really marvelous, because then we get to understand our dreams and our visions. And I write down my visions every morning or in the afternoon when I meditate, and my dreams at night. Sometimes I have 2, sometimes I have 3. And through those dreams that I got to see and analyze over the years, I got to also understand how I'm actually transforming my karma and where I'm standing at and inside myself. And that is, it never gets old. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool because you really get a taste of yourself in a manner, in a way which is like unbeatable with everything else that you might talk or do with yourself or with other people. Like, it's so divine to be connected, because when you're connected to yourself and to source, you feel more connected to the rest of the world and to what everybody's going through, and you see yourself and all the other people trying to do their best, and you understand them better. That doesn't mean that you tolerate everything in your life, or that you have to, if you can forgive. That, I guess, it's one of the biggest things that I would put into your heart, if you can. But if you need time to forgive things or people that happen to you and that you are still in pain, then you need to go through that process and take your time, and that's perfectly fine too. Like, whatever works for you, just be aware what triggers you, be aware where you've got inner work to do, and especially shadow work, which is called that you look at the things of yourself which are not completely lightful yet, which you're not completely with love yet, and where you can also not react completely balanced, where you react triggered or where you react hurt, or maybe you just some things that happen to us as human beings, sometimes we just need to pull away or take a moment, because we need time to consider how we want to handle things or people. That's perfectly fine too. I mean, we're going to talk about all these things, how challenges come, and all the different ways how we can react, and what is okay. And even if we don't react perfect yet, because our human is not able, maybe your angel inside of you can. And that I'm going to remind you that you should ask that of yourself. Or maybe your archangel already knows how to deal with the situation, because you're already at that point. Or maybe you have already that Christ consciousness, and you reach that, and you can forgive and do it even differently. So, and have contact, and you don't have to go through the same experiences in that way that you maybe would do if you haven't reconnected with all your multidimensionality. Like, let's say you haven't opened yet your third eye, and you're pretty human, and you feel human, and you haven't even heard about what kind of things exist about yourself, and you still need to take time. So you take time. That's, you know, if you still need hugs there and healing or therapy or whatever you want to do with your hurts, that's fine. That's the time you need, and that should be respected. So, you know, that's what's going on. So we're going to talk about that too, and so that you can feel inside yourself more comfortable and more connected. Okay. So, like I was saying before, that it's called the mirror of the soul, and if we get to see ourselves in there, that's when there is enough goodness in ourselves, and we are aware of that goodness, and we use that goodness for others and for ourselves. So we're gonna get into that, like, by opening your third eye, you start looking beyond the cosmic illusion and realize that everything is within you. That's where you see so many other things, like astral animals, especially in the fourth dimension, and you must keep them noble within yourself. We're going to talk a lot about that, because that's a big topic, because many people are having a hard time to actually pass into the half of the astral layer, because there you first need to really clean up, and all those astral animals that show themselves to yourself through your third eye, some are not they're too aggressive still there, and that means that inside yourself there is still too much aggressiveness, or there is still inside yourself things that are not completely virtuous, clean. So those animals, some are poisonous, some are too, like, you know, like when you have a lion or you have a tiger or you have a dragon and they're not nice, you need to get them to be nice. And that means you yourself need to work on yourself on an everyday basis and see how you still react with other people in your life and with yourself. Don't forget yourself. Like, I had many challenges where I realized that I'm so good loving others, but I had to learn how to love myself even more, because I would there I still had work to do, you know. Then I know others who think about themselves first and are so good in loving themselves, but they're not so good in loving others maybe. So they have the opposite of work. That's perfectly fine, as long as you are aware that what you need to do is to love more and to observe yourself on an everyday basis, how you react to everything. And then those astral animals actually stop being poisonous. Like, if you see a snake and she's green and you look for it in the symbol book, or you ask your angel, or you even have higher beings to ask, they're gonna tell you, please get that animal being loving and kind. That means that you need to become more loving and kind. And if you have a bear, you want his strength. If you have a leopard, you want his speed, his fastness. I mean, all these animals, astral animals, have such beautiful, strong, how do you call that in English? Virtues, strength, parts on themselves, in their personalities, in their nature, that you can use when you actually work on yourself. And I don't know, I think I've told in my other videos that I spent 10 years 10 years in the angel kindergarten, so to say, on that frequency. And yeah, it took me forever. The angels told me that I first need to learn how to keep silence, and also that the things that they show me, I need to keep it, especially first for me, and not go out there, because I would have not known how it looks, everything from like higher dimensions, and I would have talked about that dimension. But the thing is, as you go higher and higher and higher, your truth changes, because you become a more pure being. So I really actually waited for to become pretty pure, to dare to sit in front of you guys. 20 years passed. 20 years I was in cosmic school, or in mystical school, or in God school, call it angel school, archangel school, ascended master school, for to have the bravery and the humbleness, and know, okay, now God is more than okay, and is also here talking through me enough, the Christ, that Christ dimension, that Christic consciousness, for to dare to explain things in the best manner possible. And like I'm not yet used to do videos and stuff, but I'm trying, I'm starting, and I'm trying, and here I am, so thank you for having me, and I love to have you around. It's really, really an honor to be here. So what does that mean, that when someone opens the third eye, that they start looking beyond the cosmic illusion? That's a tough one, because let's say it like that. Whatever you experience in the third dimension, for an ascended master, which is already high up there and has gone through its own suffering and doesn't need to suffer anymore in the same way that when you are in the third dimension, because you get different challenges. You have different conditions, the way that you live on earth. Like, as you more clean up, you can get closer to God. And that means you have, and careful there, you're not more special because of that. You are more humble because of that. And you're more compassionate, for sure. But God, as I've seen, or if I know God, Father and Mother and Source, which is like above of everything, which there it's neutral, the being, the infinite being, the omnipotent being, loves every child the same and waits for it, and every child is special. So you are as loved from the above parents, and as special and as unique, like each spark can be. And as soon as you live your more authentic self, your authentic things come alive. They're there then. And it's just wonderful to have you in all your blooming and all your divineness, right? So, again, what does that mean to look through the cosmic illusion? Someone from the third dimension, who is still in the third dimension, is in his head, purely human, identifies with their body and with their everyday life, their family, their country, their jobs. For them, that's going to sound like insane. That there is a cosmic illusion, because pain is pain, and illness can feel so brutal, and it takes such courage from a soul to actually come here and go through such hard trials to awaken. So I take you all into my arms, and I understand perfectly what it means to be in the third dimension and to go through pain and suffering and an illness. That's what I experienced, and I know that many have things that they're going through, and it's tough. It's more than tough. And I want to give you hope there, and I want to give you healing there, and support and all my love, because let's see, we choose that for ourselves. And now we're going to say, well, no, I don't choose that illness. I would never choose that for myself. Like, why would I? It's too painful. It's too crazy. Look what I'm going through. I thought that too. And I think I've been, I don't know, my first 5 years of illness, I became a chronic ill with the intestines. I discussed with God and with Jesus every day. And I said, no, I did not sign up for that, especially that illness of the intestines. Like, impossible. A lady like me, a señorita like me, I'm half Spanish in this incarnation. I feel multiculti, but still. I said to God, crying many times and begging to take it away, to put it away. I wouldn't even consider after getting the diagnosis that that's how it's going to be, because if you're 17 years healthy and you have nothing, and then you suddenly get ill and you get a diagnosis and you get a name of what you got, I had a really hard time to say, okay, this is what I got, and understand that it's not all just suffering, that it's actually my body talking to me, and it's me being on an autobahn. The autobahn is in Germany. I'm half German too. It's where the cars go fast, right? And if you take it as a learning teacher, you can learn a lot and very faster than almost, like, people who are ill, they go faster if they want to. I mean, you can be the victim, and I understand that we all do that for some time too. Like, we feel sorry for ourselves also. There's times where we feel sorry for ourselves. In front of others, I would not show that. I cannot be in front of anybody a victim, but in front of God, like I said, when you're very, very honest and you're in your worst moments, you actually feel you feel that's impossible, that you did not sign up for this, and that you don't want it, and that you're not okay with it. And I would really get really mad and frustrated, and I would say to God, explain this to me, how you give me something like that. That's not okay. I want to have something else. If I have to have something, not this, not especially this illness,